Is there any actor or actress that you love that has done a movie or show that you didn't like? I know mine.
I guess Adam Sandler did make Jack and Jill, right? Like that's a movie with starring Al Pacino.
And you like Adam Sandler?
I enjoy Adam Sandler, unironically.
No, that's real.
So wait, was he in Jack and Jill?
Yes, he was Jack and Jill. And Al Pacino was also there for some reason.
Oh God,
Okay.
That movie was like one of the worst rated on
Ever, yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes, wasn't it?
Yeah. But watch it. It's subversive.
For me, it's Mahershala Ali and Luke Cage.
Wait. Expound, please. Break that down.
Well, we did talk about it. No, wait, we did talk about it, and we don't talk about.
I would say we talked about it, but this is the intro. So, no, I don't think. I think he did what they told him to do. I didn't agree with that direction for the character of Cottonmouth.
Wow.
Have you ever watched Snowfall?
I've never watched Snowfall.
All right, never mind.
I'm gonna say George Clooney in Batman and Robin. I like George Clooney.
What about the men who stare at
You
ghosts?
know what? I'm changing my answer really quick.
Okay,
Nicolas
all right.
Cage and Ghost Rider. There you go.
How about Nicolas Cage?
I am a lover of Nicolas Cage movies.
You like Bangkok Dangerous?
All of them.
You watch Bangkok Dangerous?
It's ridiculous. It's
watched
garbage. Yes,
You enjoyed it?
It's Nicolas Cage.
You enjoyed it though?
I was talking about Nicolas Cage and Ghost Rider,
Raise up.
but yes,
Gracious.
Bangkok Dangerous was not great. But I'm talking about he asked for a specific role.
That's true.
But Ghost Rider was not great. Ghost Rider 2, even worse.
I was about to say, it was like, but Ghost
There
Rider 2.
was.
Yeah, they were both terrible.
Both terrible movies. But I love Nicolas Cage.
I would say for me, probably in keeping with Women's Day, International Women's Day.
International
We
Women's Day.
dated ourselves.
I'm gonna say Halle Berry in Catwoman. I'm gonna bring this back up later, but yeah, I'm gonna say that because that was on the heels of her winning her
Monster
Oscar.
Ball. Yeah.
And yeah,
Monster Ball. Yeah. That's a sound effect.
Yeah, that was just.
It was.
And I paid to see that. Like I
Ooh,
paid to
no.
see that.
I think I did
I went to
too.
the theater to see
Oh
that.
no, baby!
Because that
Why
was
y'all
way
do
before
that?
streaming services.
Yeah, man.
That was.
Quite. That was when you said to order Netflix through the mail.
That's right. Red envelopes made you so happy. But no, this was theater.
I thought y'all would have stopped after the trailer. I did immediately.
Nah, because at the time it was like Halle Berry.
I don't even remember the trailer, but
Oh, I do.
Exactly. Those were my words. Halle Berry, Catwoman, Meow,
Yeah,
Meow.
I was like, I'll try it. Little dad to do you, huh?
It did.
It did y'all in.
It did. I said,
Man, you
this is
can't get them
terrible.
tickets back.
No.
We should rewatch it one day.
Does it hold up?
It won't.
Is it good or is
I
it
think that is a
nostalgic?
fantastic experiment because, man,
Oh, that could be a BNR one day of us just watching bad movies, like low rated superhero movies.
you mean like
Superman 3.
what was it?
Daredevil,
No.
Elektra.
With Steel. With Shaq.
Shaq.
Steel versus Catwoman.
Does it? Who wins?
Who wins?
And we all lose.
We both-
Spoiler.
we-
Everybody loses.
And that's the intro.
Kazam.
Kazam does not exist, bro. That's an
Kazam
Wasn't that
does
also
it.
Shaq?
No.
Kazam exists, not
Sinbad.
Shazam. You're talking about Shazam.
No.
No, there was-
Neither one of those exist in this
Kazam
universe.
exists.
That's
Kazam
the-
exists.
Bernstein Bears, bro.
It's Kazam. Kazam is the one with Shaq.
Are we just throwing out random stuff?
No,
now?
it's a whole thing about like how when we turned on the Hadron Collider, we shifted like which multiverse we were in because the Berenstein Bears and the Berenstein Bears,
Kazam
and
is-
Shazam, like yeah. But look it up. A bunch of stuff happened.
That's a different topic.
Multiverse
for-
of madness.
So I can't wait to put you out of my house. I'm looking at the clock and I'm just like, eventually this nigga gotta go. I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of jungle monkeys,
No.
Friends and family across the multiverse.
That's you guys.
Now they call me the pride and joy of New Barktown, Ace Trainer Argent. But I am not alone. As you can see, I have my 2, 3. Oh, baby, we're gonna get to it.
here
But let me.
comes a new challenger.
But let's for right now. Let's take it in house, cause it's his house. Kicking it to the
Ooh.
man, to my
I like that.
with the plan.
To my
You already know who.
Don't
it
use
is.
ACs, only use fans.
Ooh, okay. That's enough bars.
Ask him who's his favorite Lee. It's Stan.
You gotta
was
stop.
dope.
It's
I like
clean.
that.
That was actually
It's
pretty
clean.
slick.
I'm
I
not
like
mad.
that.
It's clean.
That one was pretty slick.
That was a dope bar. You already know who it is.
Who is it?
It's Big Dan. Big Dan. That's right. Rodan. Coming at you live from the 215.
215.
I am the visual opposite of Inosuke, right? I have a man's face, but a pig's body.
Stop. No.
Your comic book connoisseur.
You're lucky we only got one camera today.
Your comic book
What?
connoisseur. You're somebody of sci-fi and superheroes. Here to welcome you to another episode of BNR My Barflies. How you doing? One more time.
Oh, you good?
Last time.
There is only one
Now
camera today.
swooping in from the heavens.
Talk to the people.
We have not yet had a drink, and this is so much fun already. It is my dear friend,
Hey,
Jayhawk.
yo,
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's weird with one camera, right?
Yeah, right. It's
Only
like, where
one
do,
camera.
I don't look over there.
What do I do with my hands?
Tis I, hailing from the land of Sake, Shinobi, and Samurai. The boy is Godzilla personified. Ain't no other name but this to go by. It's your boy, Jayhawk.
And you know the boy fly, but we're not done. We got the family ties. Talk to the people, my boy.
Nepotism.
Hi, everybody. I don't have a swanky intro. It's just me, a writer. Let's do this thing.
It's great. It's too smooth.
Introduce yourself. We have a
Yes.
guest, everyone.
We have a guest.
Oh, man.
Everybody, my name is Julian. I know these 3 young men, one in particular. I'm very happy to be here as a bar fly.
He is one of the bar
He
from
is.
from all the way back in season 1.
This is true. This is true.
We
So I'm happy to be
we
here.
always show love to the OGs.
This is going to be great.
This is
This is
I'm
gonna be
excited,
dope.
man. This
This
is
is gonna be
fun.
dope.
But when so we're here for BNR, which stands for Booze, News, and Review.
Oh, snap. I got a little harmony with the
Yeah.
Drunken Master, we only got one camera, so I'm gonna stare.
Hey, everybody. We got some booze. I'm going to, well, actually, you can pour it for yourself, right?
We'll give it a shot.
You ain't new here.
You know where the cup's at. So this booze is called Loft and Bear, and I will read about it while they pour and partake. During the summer of 2014, in a loft in downtown LA, Loft and Bear artisanal vodka was born.
Already.
The founder,
You just
Paul
rubbed
Ryan,
your hand all over this lid, thinking you was going to take. I'm sorry. You were reading. Proceed.
The founder, Paul Ryan Elliott, continues to work toward fulfilling long-term sustainable success and having an impact with the business space. Loft and Bear also has teamed up with PATH, People Assisting the Homeless, a charity that helps homeless people not only find shelter, I can put my own, but move in with furniture and jobs. Through the Distill, Drink, Donate initiative, 5% of all profits of Loft and Bear go to helping the homeless, veterans, and displaced families. Now, on to the vodka. It is 4 times distilled exclusively in downtown Los Angeles. The grain is a soft, organic winter wheat planted in the fall and harvested in midsummer. The wheat has low protein and more complex carbs. The water is 100% pure California mountain spring water, slightly alkaline. The nose is full with sweet vanilla bean and notes of floral. The palate is mild, buttery, smooth, and with understated mellow wheat notes. Soft with a pleasant herbal flavor, the finish is medium, elegant vanilla creaminess with a whisper of anise. Loft and Bear vodka, artisanal,
This has to be one of the smoothest vodkas we've had.
It's so
to date.
smooth. It's really
This
smooth.
is. I almost forgot for a second it was vodka. Like the burn hit me. The
That's a
burn
little-
hit me
yeah.
after like the third sip.
Feeling's gonna be like, this is trash. What are you guys drinking?
I'm whew. I'm gonna give this out the gate 4.5.
I like it.
Top shelf.
I like it.
Primo.
It's good.
I
Top
would
shelf?
top shelf.
Like top shelf, top shelf.
Top shelf for at least on the blur bar's top shelf.
Forever.
No.
Forever?
I wouldn't say it. That's why I said
Forever?
4.5. But not, it's on blur bar's top shelf until something better, if something exists that's better. Which I would assume there is. We haven't hit that price point yet, but
So I'm going to go 3.
Patreon. This is where you come in.
it said 4 times distilled, you said?
4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe once it gets like 7 times distilled, then maybe,
But I think it might be like a katana where you only need to do it X amount of times at any time.
No, this is primo stuff. Like, I want to talk to whoever did this.
Loft and his associate Bear.
Paul Ryan Elliott.
Paul
It actually
Ryan.
comes from it was in his loft and he's in California and their thing is the bear. So
That's pretty cool. I'm going to give this a 3.78 repeating. I'm just going to give it a 3.9. I'm sorry. I don't want you to be slicing up images. This is really smooth, and the first taste isn't overwhelming. It is very like, wow, what is this? Every flavor, I don't taste anything separately between like the vanilla, the anise, the wheat. Like it's all kind of together, and it's all kind of like
Mellow.
standing in the same
Yeah.
room. Like it's not like, oh, vanilla is just like, yep, but it's there. This is good. I'm gonna put orange soda in it.
I don't even know what to say after that. Orange soda. That's nice. Well, I wouldn't call it top shelf,
Okay.
Okay, all right.
but if I'm rating it, I would give it
out of 5.
out of 5. It's about mid range. It's about mid range. So I'd give it a 3.
Now, you traveled the world, so you have, your palate's different than ours are.
This is true. So respectfully,
Respectfully.
respectfully, I'm gonna say it's mid range. It doesn't have the crispness that you're looking for in a vodka. Vodka and gin are cousins, so to speak. And gin is the spicy one, whereas vodka should have like a snap to it.
Mm.
Oh, so are you gin?
Is it the
or am
sassy
I
one?
gin?
I was about to say, I need the comparison.
I'm gin.
Oh, okay.
You're vodka.
Which
Okay,
then
I get that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I was
Yeah.
that.
I wanted to assume that was the case, but I didn't want to say
You don't want to put it out there.
I didn't want to be wrong. I was like, I'm pretty sure Josh is vodka because if he said he's a spicy cousin, I was like, I know Josh ain't spicy. So
There's no spice. There's no spice. There's a little spice. It's like tang.
Hey,
Yeah.
like a zest, if
Like
you will.
a zest, exactly.
said full zesty out here in these
zesty.
streets.
You're zesty. No, but it's a good summertime vodka.
very.
I would say it would probably work well with the crowd that goes out to watch polo and all of that good stuff.
Like water polo or horse polo?
Horse polo, horsies.
sweater vest.
Sweater
I
vest, the vest tied around the neck. And
Oh,
whatnot.
yeah.
I got that
Carlton's.
type crowd.
We love a good cardigan around here.
See, now you have to find us that top shelf and bring it back here.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, is
Not a problem.
thank you.
Thank you,
One,
we
thank you.
appreciate it.
Two, is it only like mid shelf in the realm of domestic, or are you talking about like the world?
The world, dude.
Well, I mean, my favorite vodkas are European.
Okay. Well, I would assume so since they originated there, right?
Right. However, there are some very good vodkas here in the States. And when you start opening up your palate a little bit more, you'll start to see that crispness that I was talking about earlier. So as far as the states go, that's where I'm saying this is pretty mid-range.
Okay.
Like that.
Gotcha.
So if you put this up against a Stoli's or Russian Standard or a Chopin, any of those, you can probably taste the difference. And you'll see that snap, even if you froze them at the same time, put them in the freezer rather, not froze. But once you bring them out, you'll taste that crispness.
Learning something new every day. I'm not mad at it. I think as reviewers of alcohol, like we do have to get better.
Yeah.
At like the palate growing and all that stuff. So
Gotta have more alcohol. Oh no.
oh no.
This be our cross to bear. So I definitely get the vanilla creaminess of it all. I also felt like I tasted the pleasant herbal flavor. To that to that point of them being cousins. Jen has that herbal punch.
Very much so.
And this was like, I think there's like herbal sitting out there in the back, right? Like, it's like, I think he's here, like he's right there. Yeah, exactly. The buttery smoothness and all that stuff, I felt that. I don't know if that's because we were chilling it.
It's important.
But I think it helped. I think this warm would be like, no bueno. So I would actually have to give it, as far as vodkas go, I think I more agree with Dan. I think I give it a 4. I definitely am going to put some Sprite in it, but like it was not. If we didn't have any mixers, I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I surely will not die, right? So,
but did you die?
right. But yeah, I give it a 4. That's pretty dope.
Thanks, man. So we had some booze. Does anybody have any news? You got Big Dan? You got anything for
I got a
us?
few pieces. Nothing major. Currently, Marvel is still doing their What If Miles Morales series, which showcases Miles Morales as what if he was like the Hulk
Or an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
you know, stuff like that. So
That's
it's
fun.
if you're a fan of Miles Morales and you like the pandering of getting an
But isn't it inclusion?
No, it's pandering when you only have like one brown face that you're kind of just like forcing to be mainstream, right? Like Miles Morales was a different universe at one point and then went and became 616 canon
in
late-
2015?
Yeah, right after Secret Wars. So, I get it, and they're trying to blow up the comic book sales. They're trying to blow up, the return to the Spider-Verse, or what is it?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse. So, I don't hate Miles Morales. The problem is when you keep force feeding me Miles Morales, then it's kind of like,
No. Here comes an airplane.
yeah. So, the accuracy on that one, as I am a father. Secondly, the other piece of news I had was about Elden Ring, which is kind of a small review as
Okay.
well.
You beat the game already?
No, first of all, I
The
have
game
not.
beat him.
The game. When I thought I was the father in my household, this game showed up and said, "I'm the captain now," and I was like, "You're right. I'll be back." Obviously, if you're familiar with anything from Software, they make challenging games. That's just their thing.
Are they behind Ninja Gaiden?
No,
I think that's just Capcom.
that was Capcom. Yeah,
And then Team Ninja.
but From Software is famous for Bloodborne, Dark Souls,
Titan
Sekiro.
Souls, Demon
Yeah.
Souls.
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 Not even.
But
I just didn't have a PlayStation.
it's okay. You're okay. It's fine. You made it this far. But for anyone that thought single player games were dead, this is an interesting twist between multiplayer and single player. It's primarily a single player game, but you can have some assistance from other players in that world who will kind of generate as NPCs or even as live players, multiplayer, and help you fight some of the more difficult bosses. I'm not good at the game. I want to get better.
Don't call Dan if you need to.
Don't call me. Do not summon me. I will stand there and die in grace. I'll take the one hit and be like, hey, yo, y'all have a blessed night. That's how I sign off of everything in general, and that's how I will sign off in this game. There'll be moments where I'm like, okay, I got the hang of this game, and then something happens. You be riding on a horse, bear comes out of nowhere. You're like, it's a bear. I can beat a bear, right? It doesn't have like extra limbs or
Right.
12 faces. It's a bear.
Loft bear.
Bear just wrecks. And I'm like, this is a reminder that I'm a dad.
And to not fight bears.
And not fight bears.
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
So, my overall review of the game is a beautiful game. However, it's a difficult game. And I think for anyone that's been looking for a challenging game and doesn't want to keep going through the fluff of like MMOs and grinding and all that other stuff, pick up Elden Ring.
Everybody's talking about it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it, but it's a good conversation to have. Like, I would love it. It's almost like being alive back when Mario first came out. Like being a part of that.
Huh? Shots
like
fired.
The cabinet?
No. Oh.
Shots fired.
No, like respectfully.
Julian,
Nobody even knew till you said something. You could have just not known.
He didn't have to.
Shots.
But like, no,
Bang,
being like an adult and like, or being like a kid when Mario first came out, like I was very young, so I wasn't picking up no controller, but you know, having that conversation and like over, not even just, obviously now we have the internet, right? But like just having that conversation in social media and like talking to people and like the experiences of like, yeah, that one was tough, or like talking to that pretentious one person that's like, I cheesed it, and you're like, all right, cool.
But you didn't know, but all
right. We all know that you had to suffer the same way we did.
How many quarters you got on you right now?
Exactly. But I think it's just a great way to kind of get back into gaming that doesn't feel like you're competing against everybody else. Like you can be competitive to the, you know, and be like, I beat the game. But you could also be like, I'm just sharing the experiences. So I think that's what makes me excited about this game, and I will continue to try to play it when I have the opportunity. Yeah, I'm like maybe 2 hours in.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Yeah. Not when you keep dying. You keep seeing that you died up there. It's after a while it starts to feel shaming. It just starts to feel real shaming because it comes up in a very passive aggressive way. It's just like, you died, and I'm like, I know I died. Can I just skip past this part and do it again? And they're like, no, you died.
We just wanted you to know.
But yeah, those are my pieces of news. Like I said, to be full transparency to the Barflies, I'm behind on comics, so I'm trying to catch up so that way I can actually give you relevant news that doesn't spoil it for me, which is why I'm not reading a lot of comic book news at the moment, because I'm just like, if y'all spoil, if my duties to y'all spoil it for me, I'm gonna quit. So I don't want to do that.
Wait, you gonna quit comics or you gonna quit,
I'm gonna quit
this?
Giving y'all news.
Oh, okay. I appreciate the clarity.
Yep.
My news is super short. Disgaea 6.
Is that how you say it?
Disgaea, yeah.
Disgaea?
Yeah. Yeah.
Answer that for us.
R is silent.
The critically acclaimed PlayStation exclusive, June 28th, coming to PS5. Coming to a PS5 near you. That's all my news. That's all.
Yeah.
You.
Near you. Not
Is
your
there one near
PS5.
you?
Shout out to Cobb. That's the name.
Shout out to the Queen of Flex.
The Queen of Flex. She's the one the closest one to me that has a PS5. So,
alrighty. My only bit of news is that there is a new anime film coming to Netflix on April 28th. It's called Bubble, and here is the synopsis. Gravity-defying bubbles rain down, cutting off Tokyo from the rest of the world. The city skyline becomes a playground for young people competing in parkour team battles. Hibiki plummets into the sea, but is saved by a girl with mysterious powers.
Okay.
It got real anime. That last part is
That
like,
part
anime,
saying
right?
Yeah.
that screamed anime
Super.
so fast.
Super.
It was like,
Where-
oh, this is cool. This is cool. It's
Wait,
anime.
you
There it
think
is.
that part's the part that screamed anime?
He got saved by a mysterious girl
No,
with mysterious
the part
powers?
about the bubbles coming down,
It was
gravity
the bubbles
defying
for
bubbles.
me. It was the
Yes.
bubbles for me. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
read it in a way that like gave me a trailer immediately, and I was
Good
Yeah.
job. Yeah.
gravity defying
Yeah.
bubbles. I was
Add
like,
that to your reel.
and I was like, bubbles.
Nah, it was-
Nothing else.
Gravity defying bubbles at that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I've never met a bubble that like adheres to gravity. They be floating. Oh, also, you have more news?
That's it, bro. Go ahead.
Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie, in the North America, available March 18th.
Yeah.
Not dating this
Tickets.
podcast at all.
Right.
But
Get those tickets. Is that gonna be a dub though? feel
I
like it's
think
gonna be dubbed.
depending on which night you go, it's going to be dubbed or subbed.
Okay.
That's how they usually do it. I can't speak for United.
Are we also
Artists.
looking to see if we're going to see Dragon Ball Super?
That's like later on in the year, ain't it?
It is, but I just thought I'd ask since we're talking about movies.
movies?
Let's talk about that off camera.
Off
Sure,
camera.
but I mean, Barflies might want to be interested in knowing if we go see it or
Y'all
not.
can come with
All right.
us.
Well, then
That's
let us know
right.
in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be the saving grace of Gohan.
You gonna
Julian, got any news, bud?
I did have something. I saw something that was exciting for me. I don't know if it's news, but it's exciting for me. I Am Legend 2.
What?
I did see that. Yeah.
That is
Michael B. Jordan.
super exciting for me.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, man, Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. And I having known, I knew the story before the movie
Right,
came out.
Mhm.
The Will Smith movie came out, and I thought it was amazing. I really thought it was amazing. But I'm a zombie movie guy. I'm a
thought-
zombie movie guy.
You thought the story was amazing?
Like the novelization?
I thought both.
Okay.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
cool, cool.
Both. Of course, I am the person that says the book is better.
I mean, I think that's most people.
It's right. One,
I will always say the book is better.
I've seen the movie, read the book. Why make the movie? Is what I said.
Well, that's I could go on and on.
I know,
about
but
that.
that's not this podcast. That's not this
That's not
episode.
this podcast.
Julian will be
But-
back.
We'll be back.
But no, I honestly am very
Go ahead and put
excited
the technical
to see,
difficulties up there. We'll be back. Discuss this.
I'm excited to see what they bring forward because that story
I mean,
it's
left
just
off.
not finished.
Yeah, it left
No,
off on a
it
cliffhanger,
left
like,
on a
Oh,
cliffhanger.
there's gonna be a sequel. Like if that movie would have came out nowadays, it definitely would already be booked for a
For
sequel.
yeah. Or
Like it wouldn't have waited. They wouldn't have had to wait so
what,
many
10
years.
Yeah, it was 10-year when he got the rights to when they put the movie out. It was about 10 years.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just excited about that. So
Yeah.
that's what I have for movies.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to
Thank
crap
Because
on your
I'm a
excitement.
movie guy.
Yeah.
I'm a movie guy for
That's
real.
cool.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah, speaking
Yeah.
of movies,
Very specific
Speaking
movie.
of,
the R in BNR is for reviews, and we are reviews.
reviews.
Press the button.
That is
Yeah.
the juice talking.
No more for you.
We're reviewing.
We're reviewing.
The Batman starring Zoe Kravitz.
I know that's right.
We're reviewing.
Happy International Women's Day, everyone.
That is dating this episode, so we got to get this one out there fast.
Okay, so spoiler-free review first.
Spoiler free. Okay.
Yes.
So
we're
just a rating.
We're just going to give the rating. The numbers, no explanation.
Ooh,
Okay.
Big Dan.
No. Go. I go
Julie.
last on this one.
Out of
Out of
5.
five.
Out of 5?
Yeah. That's going to hurt someone's
4.
ears.
Yeah. 4 and some change. like
425.
like
450.
like not enough to
450?
buy a pack of gum change, but
All right, but hold on.
4 and some change.
'Cause
417. Got
it's a-
you.
Yeah, man.
It's a difference between 425 and 499.
417. I'll give him
Tree
that number.
fitting.
Tree fitting.
424.
Okay.
424.
Not even
somebody
a
had a coupon.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
pinching that penny.
Yeah.
He was.
I mean, there were some parts that I thought.
Whoa.
I'm not. Everybody just put your hands down. Put your hands down.
Put him down. Put
son,
him down.
move.
You. Put him down. Put him down.
No, son, move.
There were parts that I absolutely loved that I thought were imaginative, that were creative, and that were new. And I think that is the best part about this movie is there was some new foundation made. And then there was parts when I was like, no.
No. There's some parts like, no. Josh.
So that's where the change comes from.
Okay.
Josh.
Give it 5 out of 5.
Okay. Nope. Keep moving.
That's hard. That's hardcore.
4.25 out of 5.
Okay.
I know that's right.
I'm going with.
4.5 out of 5. Actually, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
I like Nirvana.
Okay. I've been struggling with this. This number has kept me up all night.
I believe it.
The last couple of nights, actually, because I'm like, I know we're about to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 5 out of 5 movie for me.
I thought he was gonna say 2. I was waiting for 2.
I heard a 3.
I was waiting
I
for
thought
2.
it was 3. I was like,
In
well,
my spurt.
I am so shocked right now.
Especially from Big Dad.
Brother
right?
Dan. Deacon Dan?
Okay, so
I feel like that's the Deacon speaking right now. I need Dan to speak. Deacon Dan.
All right, so I guess I gotta go first. I'll get it out.
please do. Yes, that concludes our spoiler-free. Part.
Yes, spoilers ahead. Major spoilers ahead. Obviously,
Huge spoilers.
Huge.
For anyone who knows me, The Dark Knight is my favorite movie of all time.
It's true.
I have watched that 100+ times from beginning to end. Like, I watch it now for just like to see if I missed anything. Right? Like, that's how many times I've watched the movie. This movie built upon Nolan's, what I'd argue to be Nolan's best movie.
Okay.
Matt Reeves said there were still problems with the Nolan Batman.
Sure.
However, he took what the internet knows. Excuse me. He took what the internet knows about Batman and flipped it on itself. He was very aware of the meta commentary about Batman that exists and addressed it. He also,
we're gonna get to that.
yeah, I'm giving the cliff notes here because I want to make sure I'm a part of the conversation later on.
Mm-hmm.
The adaptations he pulled from made me feel like a comic book reader directed this movie. And if not, there was somebody in the room who did read comic books. Not Daryl Johnson.
Daryl Johnson.
Not Daryl Johnson.
Daryl Dolezal. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Damn. Next time.
And the cinematography overall allowed me to feel like Gotham was less cartoony
Yeah.
and like it was more of a relatable and real place. Which the Nolanverse Batman kind of tried to do, but this one felt like Gotham was his own city. And there's so much other stuff, but the casting was phenomenal from beginning to end.
Very strong.
The only weak link of casting, I would argue, is Andy Serkis. And I love Andy Serkis and almost everything else. Alfred was weak. Because this Alfred, like,
I would agree with that.
he almost was like about to talk out the side of his face, which is a very Alfred thing to do. Be like, hey, watch your mouth, son. I don't know who you talk to like this. But this one was like really like, all right, you're going through some stuff. I'm gonna let you work it out. And I was like, nah, Alfred would have been like slapped him up and been like, you gotta stop being such a baby, dog. Like,
So he had a hard role going into because look at who else has played Alfred.
that's true.
You know, like it's
But like I said, I love Andy Serkis.
I think he did great.
He was underwhelming to me, but that's just my
I
opinion.
think he did great. I think my question would be: was his response to the Bruce that we saw because of when it was that we saw him. Like, does he get his snarkiness?
This is a year 2 Batman, right?
Like,
not year 1, year 2,
right? But like, does Alfred get his snarkiness in like year 3 and beyond, or year? I feel like actually,
yeah, I feel like Alfred actually is snarky before Batman's actually Batman.
You think so?
I think so because Bruce is pretentious until he gets broken to become Batman, and I would argue this only from like having watched Gotham.
Okay.
And
can we use that as canon though?
Hear me out. Even in the Batman Origins.
Nepotism. Can we use that as canon?
even in the origins of Batman, right? Alfred's like, all right, Bruce came back from his like college life and, fighting with the why can't I remember their name? Ra's al Ghul's League of Assassins. Like Alfred he's been in the mud. But Alfred's been in that. He fought wars himself.
It's true.
Here's my question about that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just on that comment, and then please continue.
Yeah, I only have one more thing after this, and I'll pass it off.
Not only is Alfred, depending on which versions of Alfred you go with, but he was a soldier or a spy. Mm-hmm. Above all of that, he is a Brit, and Brits are not customarily snarky.
No, but this is also like an Americanized Brit, right? Who's worked for the Wayne family for such a long time to the point where he's family. He knows he's family.
Right.
Like when he took off the cufflinks in the movie, your dad gave me these. Like there should have been some entitlement to be able to speak out more against Bruce's behavior. But that's just
I don't know if that person also still calls him Master Wayne. That person calls him Bruce. That person doesn't call him Master Wayne. I would let you make that argument. At the same time, I also feel like Master Wayne can be said with pretentious, and passive aggressiveness.
The only times I feel like, especially like in like the animated series, when you hear him say Master Wayne or Master Bruce, is when he like just says some slick shit out his mouth, and then he like walks off. Sure, Master Bruce, I'll go ahead. But like, I think that's more to the point of like, I don't know if snarky. I
don't know if snarky is the word I would use, but there was like more clapback and more discourse sometimes.
Right.
In conversation.
I don't know if that Alfred is here yet.
Okay.
In the Batman,
they kind of tried it in the Snyder cut.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
I think it's one of those things where it's like know your role, right? Like I don't say sarcastic stuff all the time at work.
The same way that we'd argue like the same
people.
Batman has been like the Batman has been different each time. Alfred has been different each time.
That is true.
So I would allow for flexibility in that conversation. However, I just felt like he was the weakest link as far as casting was concerned to me.
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Last point I'll make, and then I can pass it off. The costume and gadgets that Batman had on him at all times was the most genius thing I've ever seen in movies. Because Batman, for the longest, has been to me, where did he get that from? Every time.
He is Batman functional.
Batman has pulled out a sniper rifle at one point, and I'm like, where did that come from? Where?
It's like, well, I got all these pieces here on my
right, but like, and assembles them in matters of seconds. Like,
he's a Lego master,
a la Dark Knight,
right?
And grappling hooks made sense.
Sure, for once, yeah.
For once, all of it just like made sense. Him not gliding with his cape.
Oh my goodness.
Him not like swooping down with like the famous, cable swing,
the parachute cape.
Yeah. And him actually having to wear a wingsuit and like getting busted up.
That
was oh my goodness, it was just so great.
I felt it, and then I turned to the person I was watching the movie with. I was like, he did that exactly one other time. He was like, yeah, I got it.
It only takes one.
It only takes one.
The stuntman was like, again, no.
Nah, you got that shot.
He's like, we got the shot.
We getting that in post.
I was like, this Batman forever in this universe uses grappling hooks. He does not swoop down at all. He's like, tried it once, didn't go so well. Wrote a song about it. Like, here you go.
All right. In
I'm
any
done.
event, shout out to David Allen Greer.
Yo, right?
Okay, so things I really enjoyed about this series, this movie, I guess. One,
Potentially a series.
potentially, I really enjoyed the way I would describe this movie is boots to the ground. Well, now, quite literally, but there's a level of fanaticism that, like, well, not fanaticism, fantasy.
Both of them.
There's a level of fantasy to some levels of Batman because he has to keep up with the rest of the DCEU, you know, and you got like Aquaman throwing stuff and like Shazam is Shazamming, so it's like the level of technology that Bruce would have to have in that universe is it's basically magic. It's basically magic at that point. But this, like, the technology here was completely believable.
Yep.
You know, like the point where it's like, okay, the contacts were still all in sepia tone. They weren't like 1080, you know. So it was really cool to see,
And not
that.
5G connected either.
It was really cool.
It's like, I'm about to lose you real quick. Going through this tunnel.
It was really cool.
It's just the Verizon Batman. Get out that T-Mobile, man. Come on. Do better.
You good?
He's a billionaire on T-Mobile.
Hey, you know,
Shout out to T-Mobile though, 'cause
Yeah.
that's my
That's my carrier. Right
So
now. Easy
shout
there,
out, shout out.
G. Man, they canceled.
okay.
Actually,
Can I review?
Yeah,
Can I
go ahead.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
They about to cancel my line because of that.
T-Mobile don't watch the blurb. If you do, please leave a comment below.
Sponsor us, please. We hurting, dog.
Can I finish? Is this what I do to y'all?
No, yep.
But this is the level of fantasy and technology was just like solid. It was really great to see Batman be detective-y, right? Because usually we get like the Dark Knight and I am blah blah blah. And dare I say not the same antagonistic force, but the same turning point in character development for Batman at the end of this movie was actually the same as Peacemaker, where you have to come into face to face with your like core belief and see how it is actually like kind of bullshit to be like, oh, I really need to change some stuff up. And I really liked that ending because I don't think we always get that with Bruce, right? Like
We
even,
never get that with Batman.
like Batman Begins, it was just like, bah, and Dark Knight was like, and then the Dark Knight Rises was like Italy. So, which is not quite
I would
the same.
argue.
Like
I
pasta.
would only slightly argue that Dark Knight made him change his core beliefs,
I would agree.
which
Yeah.
is why the hubris of Dark Knight Rises happens, because he's like, I got this on lock now.
I did
Right. We done put this under Harvey's name. We're going to get everybody off the streets. And they was like, Bane was like, we're giving you back to you, the people. Yeah.
Let's go, Bobo.
Language. Now I love that.
There's lots to praise about this movie, dude. Zoe Kravitz was just. I think my favorite thing with her choreo was so sharp. That lady is so strong.
She's on point. She's on point.
Magnificent. Well done. I think this harkened back to so much of like the Batman that we know without being like campy and still going very, very well. And my favorite thing, last thing, the architecture of Wayne Manor really hammered home the sheer isolation that Bruce was facing. Like that huge house, and
The man in the ivory tower.
always by himself. Like, and then when everything happened with Alfred, that man was alone. Like, alone. It was tangible. You could feel it.
All by myself.
That's not Nirvana. The score is absolutely awesome. How you feeling? What do you think, Josh?
So the theme that they used with whenever you heard the boots, right?
The boots.
Them Das boots.
That means the boot.
First of all, you know what song they should have used? Nuck of You Buck. Because every time I heard them boots, I was like, he finna throw hands.
It actually reminded me of the Darth Vader song.
Yeah, it's the same interval as the Imperial March. Yes.
And the same feeling that you felt like when you heard Darth Vader's music is like, somebody finna die.
Or at least be made very uncomfortable.
And it's not gas, right? Like,
He's like, tell me how you feel about the American health system. How do you feel about health insurance? Tell me.
that same feeling, you got that with the song that they used. I think it's actually called The Batman. Jeffrey Wright's interrogation when he was when he's like supposed to be like talking with Batman, like hey, like get your stuff together. It reminded me so much of the Key and Peele acapella skit. It was really hard to like. It's like, hey, what you doing here? You know how long it took me to infiltrate this? 25 minutes. Like, just go watch it and then watch that scene. It was hilarious. I know Jeffrey Wright wasn't trying to be hilarious, but unfortunately that was in my head.
Because he wasn't intimidating, but at the same time it was kind of like...
I mean, it's Jeffrey Wright up it like he's going literally toe-to-toe with like emo Batman. It's just like, nah, bro. Like,
I think he was great.
Your little mini fro doesn't like evoke the same terror.
Shout out to Jeffrey Wright's fro.
Right.
His barber was on it, man. That don't Jeffrey Wright.
Don't sleep on that at all.
So that was funny.
His barber named Smokey.
His barber still remember the Ali fight. He watched that live.
Oh goodness.
Al Goldfriend. Sorry.
He cut that whole thing with a cigarette dangle right here. Just talking the whole time. That was masterful.
It was.
Man.
Straight up low cut, high top. How you do that?
The Batmobile.
That's stalling?
Bro.
35 seconds of stalling. And nobody was like, should we move?
It wasn't 35 seconds of stalling. He revved his engine and everything, and then he was about to go off, and then it was like... At least that's how I interpret it. Some
No,
people
you know,
interpret it
right, 'cause you
otherwise,
turned
but
around to me in the movie theater and was like, did he stall? And I was like, he sure did.
I felt as though it was a stall. Some people say otherwise. I will let them speak.
You know what it was, though? I think it was also his first time using it.
He did it exactly one other time.
No, but like it was his first time in the movie using the Batmobile.
Yeah, it was the
so
original.
I'm assuming that was like the prototype Batmobile for him at the time. And so he was like,
Well, no.
he's like, I got to figure out these kinks.
No, the whole thing about it was that he hand built that.
Right.
was
He also built it, but I mean, it could have been like its trial run.
That doesn't sound like something Batman would do.
Yeah, that's why I say he did it one other time.
It sounds like something Batman would do if Batman's in year 2 of his Batman.
What is it, like 24?
Nah.
Yeah, if this is because it's not Batman year 1, right? So Batman year 1, he has no Batmobile. Year 2, he's like, I think I need to get around the city faster. And they were like, I want the fastest car I can build. And he was kind of just like, oh, forgot how to do this because I've been swinging around the city too much.
Nah.
I'd make that argument.
Nah.
It seems like Clan Hawkins has something to say.
Can't be.
Nah. The one thing I would have switched out, and this is like very like hindsight is 2020. I would have switched out in the trailer the scene where he beats down the clown with the scene where he beats up the twins at the front, of the iceberg, because it got the same point across where he knocks on the door and says, "Do you know who I am?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then they like close the door on him, and then they open it, but then he like dismantles them. If you see that in the trailer, it's like, oh snap, this is a tough, hardcore Batman. Knocks on the door, literally knocking on the door, taking names. Not even. Then because we saw the clown first, because we saw the clown in the trailer, it's like, oh, this is a very like brutal Batman. But because that's like literally like the first scene, I would have loved to just see that in the first scene. Like, oh, he's probably gonna like knock some heads together, but that's like Batman. He does that. But like for the clown to be the first scene, that would have like set the tone in such a way that I'd have been like, oh shit. That was uncalled for. But I liked it.
Okay.
I like the violence.
You gotta
Violence
let
is good.
Julian talk here.
Yeah, no, I was just we were going down the line.
I understand. I want to make sure that we get this because anything else after this, I think we should definitely make it like Patreon.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, no, I think as my fiance put it, she might be biased, but this movie gives Batman fans like everything that they would want out of a Batman movie. Because
Everything.
Gotta disagree, buddy.
we got to see
Everything.
we got to see Batman do his detective work. We got to see a dope ass Batmobile chase.
That was. It was.
We got to
That was
see
fantastic.
Yeah.
him like do the whole like I am the darkness, beat down some criminals.
Okay, yeah, I actually have a point about that. Go for it.
It's like, so what else would you have wanted?
The one thing everybody wants, man.
The Batman who laughs.
You want,
I don't know
You
if
want
that
the,
was
you
that-
want you want the Joker. You want
What?
the Joker.
Oh God, no. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you do. Like they're
No.
they're synonymous. Shut up. Let me finish. You want the Joker because honestly, that's as far as pop culture is concerned, they're synonymous.
There is no Batman without the Joker.
Exactly. And vice versa.
Yes.
And vice versa. There's no Joker without the Batman.
Ah.
They still had to put Bruce Wayne in the Joker movie. Because you don't have the Joker without the Batman. There has to be some tie. There's some heartstring tie to the Joker.
I would wholly disagree with that.
Okay, we can have that argument off
just
camera.
I just want to say this. I just want to say this. If the only thing that you can say that this movie didn't have was like a core like Joker presence, this movie gives you everything that you would want.
I gave it a 5.
I get it, but I'm just saying like because he has such
Foe and change.
because Batman has such a wide roster of people, I think going with the Riddler sets it up so that you can have this very detective.
Oh no! Like I said, I want
Batman.
to come back to that conversation
Yeah.
after Julian says his piece.
Yeah.
because that's almost like a separate thing with the way that they handled all this. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
But you gave this a 4 and some change. I want to know
Four
why.
and some change. 424.
Holding on to that penny.
Yeah.
4.25. 25 cents can get you a card at Aldi's. I don't know why you holding on to
a
that.
lot.
Except for 4.24, you
Well, I mean, because
can't put a penny in the Aldi's card. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Well,
Hey.
hey, I'm going to try.
Sheesh.
I'm gonna try a Canadian one at that. I really had 3 points, but something that you had mentioned gave me a 4th point. Maybe a 5th point, but whatever.
I talk
But
about
my first
424.
424. My first point was Zoe Kravitz.
pristine.
Stupid.
Sensation.
So I'm gonna take it back, and I think that this is, as Catwoman, this is probably the most courageous DC has ever been, because Eartha Kitt, Halle Berry, and now Zoe Kravitz.
Anne Hathaway.
No. He's talking
Hold
about
on.
Brown. He's talking about Brown.
I'm talking about the BL.
Brown. Right.
This is the BL and Blurred that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That character as a black woman is she has to be so dynamic on the screen, because the history of Selena Kyle is she went from riches to being a criminal. You know what I mean? A villainess and all of that. Yeah. There's no quotation. She was an actual thief.
Right. That only happens afterwards.
Right. But it's to have these women of color to play this, and for us as men of color and you all of color that are watching, to think of your surroundings and the women that you grew up with. And even if you know women of means who look like you know what I mean? You knew that they didn't grow up in the same circles that you did. They grew up with Chad and Tristan and all these other folks. Brayton, you know what I mean? So So to have these women play such a pivotal character in what Batman is, 80 years now?
Going on.
Going on 80 years.
No, I think it's 90.
Is it?
might be
Because
90.
Batman
It might
is
be
out.
90.
Batman is older than Superman. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to have these women, and in all respects, Earth and Halle are on a different level of status than Zoe is at this present time.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, but to have that character who is so pivotal to a 90-year-old,
Almost 90. It's 80.
a stalwart of the comic book genre, and I would also say the movie genre.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There aren't too many movies that have made more money than the Batman.
Spider-Man.
You have
Only
Spider-Man.
Only
you
Spider-Man.
have- Is it only Spider-Man?
It's only Spider-Man. There's no one that beats out the Batman
What about
franchise. There's no other
007
movie-
is up there, but I don't
There's
think he's
no
made
other
more
movie
money
that's
than the
made
Batman.
more money than the Batman franchise
Right.
other than Spider-Man.
So when you have that connected to the Batman, I that is pivotal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Marvel, no disrespect to the Marvel fans out there, but Marvel is not that brave to cast a Black Widow. They are not that brave to cast a Black Tony Stark.
Oh, he's trying to
You know
throw
what I mean?
words out here.
Question though, because with the Black Widow, I don't know. Are there Black Russians out there?
Yes,
That's
there
the
are.
question.
Yes.
There
Actually is.
Okay.
There is actually a wonderful book. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a piece of this dude and his family. His family migrated from Africa to Russia, and they lived their lives as Russians. And his what is his name? I'll get it back to you.
Get it back to me. I'll put
I will
I'll
get it
put
back
up
to you
there.
guys.
I'll put it up there.
There
but
is
the
a
dude,
Black Widow, but
Yeah,
it's
Black-
$20.99. So
Woo, shoot.
I have a problem with that.
No. But
And
you
it's
said what
dope.
you said, and you're not wrong.
Right.
You're not going to do
But
that.
are we going to see that on the film?
No,
on
of course
film.
not.
You know what I mean? Is Marvel brave enough to do that? I'm not saying DC doesn't get any confetti from me. You know what I mean
that's important.
for their inclusion. However, this is a critical character to Batman. You know what I mean? This isn't the Riddler who shows up every 10 years and one like that. You know what I mean? This is a love interest that stays with him throughout. You know what I mean? So I thought that was, her casting meant a lot more. And I think she did a phenomenal job.
I think so too. Yeah.
Phenomenal job.
She apparently auditioned for the Dark Knight one, and she was told to.
She was too urban. She was too urban. And I find that
See,
when
now,
you see
while I
someone
would- really
Go
quick,
ahead.
just to create some discourse here, while I would be upset about that, the Nolan verse created a Batman that was completely different as far as the dynamic of what they were trying to set the precedence for in Gotham. So a white Selena Kyle made sense. Well, I don't think Zoe. I don't think a Zoe. Hold on.
A lot like
but she
Daryl.
did but she
Hold
was
on.
not
Like
she
Daryl
wasn't
knows
she
all.
wasn't in her she wasn't
She also was not Catwoman. She was very
but
much
she wasn't
Selena
trying
Kyle.
but she wasn't trying to be when Zoe Kravitz auditioned. She wasn't
No,
trying
I'm
to be
pretty
Catwoman.
sure. Yeah, but at the same time, I think she made a better Catwoman / Selena Kyle for this universe
Then that's Selena.
than as just a solely Selena Kyle, because she never is identified as Catwoman in the Nolan verse.
It's true.
It's just Selena.
Well, technically, she's not here either.
Yes and no, right? But
He never
No,
says.
no,
Catwoman.
this is
he's
true.
right.
This is
but
true.
It's different. Like, I'm just saying, it's different in the scope of things that they were trying. Easy there. Watch your mouth. I will throw hands. This is my house. I'll put you out. But I think, and I'm not excusing it, because for whatever reason, you should never tell somebody in an audition process that they're too urban. But you can just say no. Like, you're allowed to just say no and let them go on with their day.
they'll tell you real quick that you don't fit the culture here.
Of course.
How is that not saying that you're black?
Oh, like I said, there's a way to just say no and not be offensive. I'm not saying that part's okay. I'm saying for the Nolan verse in which it worked, he was an older Batman. Zoe Kravitz is wildly younger than Christian Bale, at least when those movies came out. This makes more sense for the co-star that she had. I would have made that argument as the casting director that she was too young, not too urban. That's where my argument would have been.
It might have been, however, she was not. But she was not auditioning for Catwoman at the time.
She was.
She wasn't.
Selena Kyle.
No.
Yeah.
Promise you, bro. I wasn't. She wasn't.
I mean, you weren't either.
You weren't.
I wasn't either. Right. But she wasn't. But we can debate that.
I get that. I liked her but I loved her for this, and I will agree with you on that. I think this makes way more sense than casting anybody else. I wouldn't have casted anybody else for this. For how much I love this movie.
I can't say I wouldn't. I don't know who else was in the mix. But
ooh, you was gonna give it to Zendaya? I mean, I love Zendaya, but no.
Stop, dude. Stop. Just
stop.
Just stop. I said what I said. Stop. I said what I said. I think Zoe Kravitz gives me Catwoman. When I see her, I think Catwoman.
She was good.
I don't know. But my second point,
I stand by it.
My second point was Martha.
That was a great thing.
We were so our last thoughts of Martha is
y'all know
it's
Martha.
the wretched
Martha. Batman's kryptonite.
I'm not even gonna,
you said my mom's name.
Exactly. So what I loved about this movie is also what kind of I disliked about it. They gave Martha not just a maiden name, but they gave her
the maiden name.
The maiden name.
I mean, they gave her a name that they made as comparable as Wayne. Mm-hmm. And that to me is the dopest thing possible because it makes sense at this point. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're thinking of a young Thomas Wayne. You know, money knows money. Money right. Vacations with money. Yep. Money chit-chats with money. Money makes sure that Money's son has an internship and this, that, and the third.
Money makes sure money don't get too far.
Exactly.
This Bruce Wayne had white privilege on white privilege.
Oh, yeah.
And she said it.
Exactly.
And she said it.
So to know that now Martha, you know, we are dropping spoilers.
Yeah.
So to know that Martha is an Arkham, that opens up the entirety of the lore of not just Batman but Gotham itself.
It explains why Batman's crazy. It explains why Batman's Batman.
But look, you know what I mean? They went ham with Martha.
They sure
you know what I mean? Like giving us that her name is Martha Arkham before Martha Wayne. Mm-hmm. They gave us so much. But then to say that she went crazy and that's why they established Arkham Asylum, you know what I mean? That just the lore now intensifies.
I wish that was canon.
How they could do.
I wish that was canon.
I mean, if someone had just gone into that, you know, if someone were to write a series on the Wayne family and then they bring in the Gotham elites, you know what I mean?
Court of Owls, baby.
That's how we get to the Court of Owls.
Court of Owls would be lit right now.
And that is, as a story, that is fantastic. And that is what Batman becomes. You know what I mean? So I think before you have the Joker, you have the Court of Owls.
I agree. I'm with it.
Yeah, and it just opens up a whole lot to him as a character. And my third thing that I actually really liked, and it was so subtle, but I really, really loved, was they scaled Gotham. You know,
they did. By saying where the wall is.
Not just that. They said there's 30 million people in Gotham.
Sure did.
That is 3 times the size of New York City right now. That gives us as not just readers, but as people who are, you know, just watching the movies or the casual enthusiasts of the Batman lore. That gives us why that like it makes Batman that much bigger because when night falls over Gotham,
it's going
and
down.
all 10 million people, I'm not saying all 10 million, but the portion of Gotham that is
Still, the heart is still beating.
right, you know what I mean, the criminal element and this, that, and the third. It's a lot of shadows in Gotham. You know what I mean? So to believe that he is with you, that he is everywhere,
Boogeyman.
you know what I mean? So when you do hear that, those Spurs steps. First of all, I don't know how they got Spurs in the steps, but that was fantastic.
It was grappling hooks and all the other.
It was all the equipment just in one step, clink.
Because Batman was built like a whole
weighted.
Marine.
Yeah,
It's weighted. It's fine.
it was. But I just thought to scale Gotham so casually for the audience, it puts in perspective, you know, how much we don't see. You know what I mean? So while Batman is fighting with the Riddler over here, we can see why Two-Face is moving over here.
Oh, yeah.
Or why Black Mask is moving over here.
Yep.
Or why the Joker is actually killing people over here. Because there's a lot of ground to cover. You know what I mean?
So imagine if you will, all our Philly listeners, if Batman dealing with something on the boulevard and Black Mask is working at Walmart in South Philly, you just can't get there that fast.
I mean, look,
you just can't.
I mean, the scale they're talking about is Philly to Wilmington as
Yeah.
one city.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You know what I mean?
Although, with the ending being what it was, that scales down exponentially.
Sad.
The flood walls, all of that.
Sad.
Like there's the body count is high.
It's
They
true.
they don't address it, but it would have to be. Because think about all the people who don't make it to the stadium.
True.
Right.
True,
So-
but that even puts even more emphasis on how much ground he covers, because we're still talking about year 2.
Right.
There's no Robin. There is no there's no other heroes about. And that was another thing that I did want to touch on just briefly, how they swiped Huntress's story and gave it to Zoe. But, you know, hey, is what it is. Is what it is.
I mean,
But-
they changed so much canon. I think it still works for what
You
they're
still
gonna-
you think that they can bring Huntress in?
I don't think we need Huntress. I think Huntress is an auxiliary character, which is which works in the animated and maybe comic book, but never needs to be live action because her story is very like synonymous with other female vigilantes.
I got you.
Because there's only
here's-
one way to tell a female vigilante story. Which is unfortunate.
Here's the one thing I always adored about
I said what
the
I said.
Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the most plausible.
Okay.
With
Sure.
everything that has happened in Gotham,
I
all the
agree.
gangsters and one like that, that is probably the most plausible of not just heroines, but heroes.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
And
I
they
would
swiped her story.
argue that they'll hand it over to Batwoman in some way, shape, or form, and you gotta stop.
Won't be a black woman. I tell you.
Right. But
Unless they do it, if they do it, that'd be dope. But I don't see them doing that.
But
for
that's
the
what I'm
movies.
saying. The problem is these Batman movie universes are never going to
Touch
be
the
accessible
CW
in that
verse.
way, right? But they're not going to be accessible in that way that like because it's the Batman universe, no one else is getting the spotlight. So everyone's either going to be a love interest or
A sidekick.
like an antagonist.
Hostage.
Yeah. So
Well,
There's Jim Gordon.
well, what
because even
about
Alicia Silverstone was like worthless in Batman and Robin, but that was Batman and Robin, so I can't talk about that.
I
too much.
can't think of the name right now, but there is a actually a friend of mine knows the actual creator and the writer of the Cat, that he writes the daytime hero of Gotham.
Signal.
I can't think of his name right now. Don't give me the lion.
It's
I
his
think it's
name is
Signal.
Signal. He's black.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. They replaced black
That-
with him.
That leads me to believe that there is room.
There
outside
is room,
of-
but I would say as far as the movie franchise is concerned, Batman's always going to be a white privileged male,
Oh,
and no one else is getting that spotlight. At this,
I would,
at this
I would
point
agree
in
with
time.
that. I would agree with that.
We 80 years in, right? So
Yeah,
And
I would
some
agree with
change.
that.
80 years and some change. There's no way they're going to change that formula. Batman is a
Faux
American
point
icon.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, thank you for
Thank
all
you.
of that. I do believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, we've reached the end of the episode.
I think I would agree. I would think if anything, we will continue this conversation and see if it pops up somewhere else.
Yeah. Hey, if you can't get enough, Patreon, we got tiers, we got options. I know y'all got $5.
For what? No, for $1.
$1?
We get access to these YouTube videos.
$1.
Exactly.
But anyway, this is the Blurred Bar. Our guest Julian. Julian, thank
Shout
you
outs
so
to
much,
Julian,
man.
man.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you guys for having me. I
He
appreciate
also
it.
came out
I
to the
love
movies
these
with
guys,
us
man.
to see it. So
Yeah, no, that's fun.
That was a great time. But this has been Booze News and Reviews. I'm Ace Trainer Argent. We are here with Big Dan, Little Dan, Jayhawk, and Julian. And have a great night, guys.
y'all the best, man.
Take care.